Welcome, friends. I'm Naomi Fada, and I am so glad that you joined me here on my channel today, teaching you about sewing and thrifting and just changing your clothes to fit you the way that you want them to. So, if you haven't noticed, I am a lover of thrift. I love to thrift, love to find things. It's all about the hunt, right? So recently I had the opportunity to go thrifting with my daughter, and she's a preteen and she loves to be able to find things as well. So we went to some of the local thrift stores and I was in search of a couple of like long sleeve blouses for myself. And if you haven't listened, about a month or two ago, maybe it was closer to 2 months ago, I posted a conversation that I had with Ashleana, one of my friends who runs or who hosts the podcast Bold Faith and Fashion, but she is a personal stylist. And she was talking to me about how to find out my colors and what colors look good on me. So I was in search of colors that looked good on me in the thrift store that also fit my needs. So in this one particular shop, there was three um, shirts that I pulled out. One was a nice olive green. That one I tried on. I really liked the look of it. It had a nice accent. And then another one was a lighter blue. And this one I just felt like, it didn't really make me feel alive. I didn't feel like it was the right color. I think it was a little bit too light. And then I found one other shirt that I actually have here with me. So this is what I mean when I'm saying like thrift with sewing in mind. Because this one that I bought is going to need a little bit of alterations. So I'm gonna put the picture up of what it looked like at the thrift store so you can see the whole thing. But what it is it's this shirt and it has these sleeves attached. And I have to say, I am not a fan. I don't like sleeves that are dangling. But if you notice, there's a seam attaching those sleeves. So I knew, oh, I could get the shirt and I could just take off this little ruffle at the end of the sleeves and I will absolutely love this shirt. So I just wanted to show you how to do that so that, as you see these things, whether it's you're thrifting or you're finding things on clearance, you can say, oh, I can make that work for me or I can change it. And then you're really, I don't know, I paid maybe $6, $7 for this shirt rather than buying it brand new. And as soon as I've taken those ruffles off, I cannot wait to wear it. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe, which really helps me to build my channel. Thanks so much. Now I have this blouse ready to take this ruffle off. So you see there is a seam right here, and my guess is that I can access it fully by that seam. I'm hoping that it doesn't come down low enough to be affected by the buttonhole or the button on this side. Oh yeah, so easy. Look at this. It's opening up. And in fact, as it's opening up, the ruffle is just coming right out. And so I'm just going to seam rip this right off the cuff on both sides. And then take it over to the machine, find a matching thread, and then just stitch right along the edge for that final look, finished look, so that it's a finished cuff, just as if it was made that way. And sometimes something like this is sewn on like both sides. So you might have to remove it from like the front of the cuff and the back of the cuff. So it might be stitched into this side and this side. But it all depends. More and more, I feel like it is true that they're easier to get out. But as you examine clothes, like if it were in the thrift store, it's really all about paying attention to those connection points. And the more you sew, the more experience you have, the more you'll kind of get a feel for what's behind the seam, like what the seam might look like, where, it's hidden, and how the garment was constructed, which will give you a much better idea of how you would like to fix it, or whether it's an easy fix. So see, it's just like that. It came right off. And then we're just gonna put it on the machine and stitch it down. Now I have this shirt over at the machine, and I do see this is going to be interesting because there is a button right there that I want to try to go around. So I'm going to actually move my needle farther over this way so that it's closer to this edge of the pressure foot, so that I don't have to interrupt my button there. And when I put it down, it'll go right in. Perfect. There we go. And then just a nice even stitch, pulling out my pins. And stitching along. And there you go, all set, ready to wear. Just need to trim off some more of my threads. Now the alteration is all finished, and I'm so pleased. So see how there's no ruffle on the sleeve, or whatever you want to call it. And I know that I'm gonna love wearing this shirt because it's the perfect length for me to have my hands busy. I think as a busy mom, I always have my dishes and my hands in the dishes, excuse me, or fixing food as well as sewing. And I just don't like the feeling of something hanging in, that might get caught in something. But I also like to wear, something that's not just say gym wear around the house, because it does help me feel much more productive. And so that's one of the reasons why I like to find like blouses or something that makes me feel a little more professional, upbeat, and dressed for the day. So hope this tip helps you as you go thrifting and in search of clothing that you love, that you can alter, and that looks good.
Thank you for watching. You can shop tutorials and classes on my website, naomifeda.net. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, may God sow his love into your heart today.